Odyssey would be nice. Two things he wasn't sure of in the vast wilderness of British Columbia. And the civilization lay somewhere in the south, so he began to walk. Or she began to walk. Ronald Woodcock sat on the trunk of a fallen tree and stared at the ground and tried to think. As he was lost in trackless, unspoiled wilderness of South British Columbia, he marked the date on his calendar, and he kept his backpack. On June 1971, Woodcock wasn't worried about himself. He was worried about the others. He felt uncomfortable in the wilderness, and he figured he had plenty of time to find the cabin. No, not in the conditions you're in. But he was concerned about his family. He had been out of touch with them now for 40 days. And his wife and 6 children were living in a rental house in Indioka, more than 200 air miles to the south. The February before their home had their possessions were all uninsured and had been destroyed by fire. Financially, he had been wiped out. That really did happen. What reality was left when he made his trip into the wilderness? He had no more money, and his earnings on his railroad job, so he had been taken a leave of absence to trap beaver, which is a trade in Alaska. Sells very well. A good pellet brought $20. The price is a lot higher if you sell it among the tribes. In April, he flew to Damachi Lake after arranging for a bush pilot, Bill Jenkins, to pick him up 8 weeks later. Woodcock, 48, was a brown-haired, blue-eyed, stocky, 170-pound. His venture was his 3rd trip to the bush in 10 years. He loved it, he often said. If there was a way to have my family with me, I'd spend my life here. You're at peace, your own boss. Fish and game are plentiful. If you are in a world where you make it for yourself, there is no other world to exist in. The trapping went smoothly, and Woodcock gathered more than 50 pellets in the first 3 weeks. On May 31st, he left his cabin to retrieve his skins. That reminds me, there's a trap line in back. That reminds me. Don't go past the barking neighbor's dog. There's a trap line that runs very far towards the old Sterling. Yeah, I know where it's at. He worked his way through Snowmad Creek in the Groundhog Pass, where he located the skins and spent several days cleaning them. He packed half the skins in 60-pound loads and his remaining 3-day supply of food. Because of the weight of his pack, he decided to seek a shorter route, which I marked clearly. After dredging south for 6 hours through high underbush, he broke out into a creek, which is familiar to me, which I wouldn't go on now, this time of year. For the last long minute, he was hypnotized by the beauty of the paranormal. Then, sitting down, he faced the fact that there were no wood salesmen, and he was low on wood. He was lost. You better have matches or know how to start a fire. The Snowman Creek went east or west. That flow changed in the last earthquake. So it no longer flows that way. It flows the opposite way after the last earthquake, which now it runs from where I'm at to, let's see, that creek runs from the old Sterling to the Anchor River, which flows into the South Fork, and it doesn't hit the ocean until now. It doesn't hit the ocean until Happy Valley Creek, where the falls are at. That's which way it goes now. 20 years ago, it went the other way.